Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna explain you all these weird supercar names. Do you know why supercar manufacturers give their cars these weird names? For example, Lamborghini Huracán LP580-2 or Ferrari 488 GTB. So many letters and numbers, but what do they mean? Why they cannot just make it easy? Like Audi, for example. They put the A in front and then they have 1, 2, 3, up to 8. And the higher the number, the bigger the car. Or Mercedes, it's also pretty simple. They have A class, B class, C class. I'm not sure why they skipped the D, but anyway, the more you go in the alphabet, the bigger and the more expensive the cars get. So I did a little research what all these weird letters and numbers actually mean, and to be honest, they make sense. And here's why. Let's start with McLaren. First of all, McLaren has 3 categories of cars. The first one is the Sports Series, where the 570S belongs to. The second category is the Super Series, for example, the McLaren 720S. And then the third one is Ultimate Series, for example, the McLaren P1. So the Sports Series and the Super Series are kind of named after their horsepower. So, this car behind me, McLaren 570S, has 570 horsepower. Pretty easy. Actually, they're cheating because it only has 562 horsepower, but I think they round it up to make it maybe look a little bit better. All the cars in the McLaren Sports Series have the same engine. It's a 3.8 liter V8 engine, and they also have the same base. So the only difference between the cars is actually the outcome at the end. So we have the 540C, which has 540 horsepower, the 570S with the 570 horsepower, and the 600 LT. And LT stands for long tail. So it's a longer, a lighter, and a more track-ready version of the 570S. You would think it has 600 horsepower, but it's the same than with the 570S. It has 592. Lately you can see that McLaren changes a little bit how they name their cars. For example, now you also have a McLaren Senna or the new McLaren Artura. So let's move forward. Let's talk about Lamborghini. So many of you guys maybe already know that Lamborghini named their cars after famous Spanish fighting bulls. For example, Aventador, Gallardo and Huracan, as you see behind me. But the full name of this car is not just Lamborghini Huracan, it's actually Lamborghini Huracan LP580-2. So what does that mean? Let's break it down. Huracan, we did it already. You know what it means? It comes from the fighting bulls. LP stands for Longitude Posti, something in Italian, what I cannot pronounce. So if you translate that word into English, it means lengthwise, and it refers to the engine position. The 580 is the horsepower. So similar as McLaren, Lamborghini also puts the horsepower in the name. And then the -2 is, because it's a 2-wheel drive. We also used to have another Lamborghini Huracan, which was a Huracan LP610-4. So guess what? It had 610 horsepower and it was a 4-wheel drive. The newest Lamborghini we just ordered is the Huracan STO, and the letters STO stand for Super Trofeo Omologata, which means homologated. So this car is basically a street-legal Lamborghini Super Trofeo race car. I stay with the Italians. I just move over to Ferrari. So Ferrari made it easy in the beginning, before they confused me completely. Let's start with the easy ones, with the Ferrari F430 F1. F430 stands for 4.3 liter engine. Very easy, they just took the engine size. F1 means that they took some parts from the Formula 1 car. In that case, it was the shift pedals. So the regular F430 had a stick shift, and the F430 F1 came with the shift pedals. Then we have the Ferrari 458. Same here, it came with a 4.5 liter engine. Very easy to understand, makes sense completely. But then we have the Ferrari 488 GTB, which you can see in the back. But it doesn't have a 4.8 liter engine. No, it actually has only a 3.9 liter engine and is turbocharged. So I was thinking how Ferrari came up with the number 488. Didn't make sense to me. So I did my research and I figured out that the 488 is the volume, the cubic centimeter of one of the 8 cylinders. So all 8 together, they have like 3,900 something cubic centimeter of volume. I'm sure they just did that because they didn't want to go down in number and they didn't want to call their Ferrari 390. After the 488, you also have the 3 letters GTB, and they stand for Gran Turismo Berlinetta. You also have another version of the 488, which is the Pista. And Pista is Italian, and it means racetrack. So you can see this version is the lighter one, more carbon, and it's really made for the racetrack. Where this one, you can really drive it nice on a Sunday afternoon on the road with your wife on the passenger seat. The Ferrari 488 GTB and the 488 Pista come with the same engine. It's the 3.9 liter V8 engine, and this engine won multiple Engine of the Year awards, so it's really a masterpiece. And Ferrari even named a car after that engine, which is the F8 Tributo. So they pay a tribute, it's an homage to this masterpiece of engine. Okay guys, let's move over to the last one in my line here, which is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS 991.2. Oh my god, many numbers, many letters. I'm gonna explain what they mean. Before I did my research actually, I had no idea why it's a 911, why it's not a 512 or anything else. So it's actually funny because the car was not supposed to be a 911, it was supposed to be a 901. So Volkswagen or Porsche presented the car at the Paris Motor Show, and then like really right before the launch, Peugeot came up and said, hey, we have a trademark for all 3-digit numbers, which has a 0 in the middle and a 1 at the end. So they had to come up with something. So the easiest solution for them in that moment, you have to imagine everything was already prepared. So the easiest solution was to just switch the 0 in the middle with a 1. So then it was a 911 and 911. The GT3 actually comes from the FIA racing category, so this car was not supposed to be on the road, first of all. It was a race car, was supposed to start in the GT3 category. After we have the 2 letters RS, and RS is German for Rennsport, which means racing sport, which clearly makes sure where this car belongs, to the racetrack. The last part of the name is 991.2. So the 991 is the production line, and the .2 shows that it's kind of the second generation of the car. It's already the updated one and it already got a facelift. That was a lot of numbers, a lot of names, a lot of letters, but yeah, at the end somehow everything makes sense, and I hope you liked the video. I actually liked making it because I personally learned a lot by doing my research for all the names, and I hope you like it as well. If you did, please put a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my other social media channels, and then yeah, I hope to see you soon.